Welcome to part 2 of installing the battery in the CB300. I ended up removing the battery and placing it on the battery tender. It was just an Energizer tender that I'd purchased at Princess Auto here in Canada. And I've had it for 3 or 4 years now, and it's never really let me down. My battery also, I believe it to be the original battery from the motorcycle, which is from 2015, which I guess you could say 10 years is pretty good to get out of a battery. But the battery has died on me, and I'll show you guys what it's doing. So as you guys can see here, I have the battery and my multimeter, and we have a surface charge of 12.695 volts. But I'm going to install the battery into the bike, and I'll show you guys what happens. Alright, so now we've got the battery fitted into the bike. You can see we're reading 12.6 volts, and as soon as I turn the key on, it drops to half a volt, 1 volt. So after I took the battery out of storage, the bike would power on. But as soon as I hit the crank button, the battery would drop down to around 4 volts and everything would go out. So then I put the battery back on the tender, thinking, okay, maybe the battery just didn't charge or something's going on here. And the battery tender would get it back up to around 12.6, kick off, and then kind of maintain that voltage. So right now the battery's only getting a surface charge. I actually ended up purchasing an Optimate 4 quad program battery tender that supposedly charges and tests the battery, but this battery actually passed its test, so I'm guessing it's not putting that much of a load on the battery or the type of test that it's doing. I don't know if it's very valid, so it was between purchasing the Optimate and the NOCO, and I read some bad reviews on the NOCO, as the NOCO had a repair mode, so I was like, oh, maybe that might work, but I ended up purchasing the Optimate. Needless to say, this battery's done, so we'll get a new battery fitted to the bike. And the easiest way to install this is to actually install the bracket with the battery. So I'm just going to kind of get this situated here. There we go. So now we have to reinstall our 10mm screw. Now I'm going to apply a small amount of dielectric grease here to the battery contacts. The positive side on my previous battery would get a bit corroded, and the negative side was always fine, but I'll apply a bit to the negative side as well. So now we're just going to connect our battery cables, and we're going to start with the positive side. Alright, so now we've got this new battery installed. Drops to 12.1. It's the headlight on and everything. Cranking. Alright, so I'm actually probably going to end up leaving this bike in its current state for now. We have a good battery in it. I'm going to hook the tender up to it and leave it hooked up to the battery tender. And probably either this weekend or next, I'll put it back together and I'll bring it out and get it all cleaned up, and we're going to get it posted for sale. I've had this bike since 2022, and it's been a good bike. It's time for me to move on now to something larger.